What's up YouTube? We're back to Lord Swine, and today we got our first impressions of Lucy from Cyberpunk Edgerunners, the first guest character in Guilty Gear history. And is she any good? Well, we're going to find out today, and I'll give you my first impressions. She is a 4-star character, but she feels like, to me at least, on day one, a little bit trickier than that. Personally, they label her as balanced. I think she's more unique, but this is just day one, so this could all change. So this is just obviously first impressions. But yeah, we'll go over again to it and talk about what I think is good about her and what might not be so good about her in the long run, and we'll go from there. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, so we got Lucy here. She's labeled as a balanced character. I think that's because she has a projectile, she has a lunge, and she has a DP. I think that's the reason why they've labeled as balanced or 4-star balanced character. I don't think she should come into that personally. She feels like more unique. I feel like you must learn how to use these to fully unlock her potential. I don't feel like without it she is going to be that strong. She has a few downsides which I'll get into and like what I think her potential weaknesses are. But we'll start with strengths. Her range is really good on like all of her buttons pretty much. You got the dust there, it's pretty good. Even the 2K and the 5K seem pretty decent. The 5P is pretty standard, but this is pretty good, and it's 5 frames as well. This does whiff, so you probably won't be using this. As an Abara, you'll be using this. But she does have good defense as well. This isn't got very good horizontal range, but it's got really good vertical range, and it does hit behind, which I was worried about in the trailer. So yeah, she has these strengths. Obviously, she can guard crush with this move. This move is pretty decent. Kind of works quite nicely in a frame trap. You can delay it. You do into 6H, and then you can delay the move. It does leave you -8, so something to bear in mind. You can do even like the standard one leaves you -8. Now, if you want to delay it and get the guard crush, you don't actually have to delay it too much. If you delay it the full time, like 56 frames, but it's still the same plus frames. But I think as you can do, it's about 32 frames. But you do get the guard crush. You have to land the guard crush to get the debuff on them, which allows you to do combos off of the mono wire. So this special move is really good because of how much range it kind of covers. This move has really good range. See if you extend it, it has a little bit more range, not too much to shout home about. So you can kind of like throw out. It's like a giant wall essentially, and you can delay it, which is probably the best thing about this move. You can feint it. It's really good in combo lock strings. So yeah, it does leave you -8, but if the opponent's waiting for it, it's quite good to like kind of catch them and stuff. And other than that, I think her hacking is what makes her really good. I will do a separate video about hacking. You can get, I think it's a maximum of 4. I think let's do some maths. Yeah, you can get about 4 up, which is pretty decent. But if you max it out, it automatically takes you out. And to jump out of the super, you just press the dust button, which is pretty nice. So I think you have to utilize these to make her strong. So I'm going to get over to things that I think are a little bit weaker about her now. So I mentioned this massive range, but she's minus on a lot of stuff. Obviously, she's obviously good from a different range. So if you're good at hit confirming, it's pretty decent. And this does have a little vacuum effect on the follow-up, on the command normal. But you're -8 on that as well. Obviously, if you do this right in their face, you know, you're getting punished. If you do this one, this is -12. Again, 12, this is -12, so this is even more minus. So this is something to bear in mind. She's very minus on a lot of her normals, and it's slow. It's 13 frames. This is like the speed of a Unica's. 11 frames for the low, and it's a low, by the way, which is pretty decent. It's not too bad. So you can like fish for hits with this one, but it is -12. That kind of gets you into the next bit. All her special moves, they're kind of always a risk. So this one's -8, and it pushes her out a fairly decent amount. So this is probably the one you want to go for most of the time. And safely gapless to that, and obviously if you do this into 6H, you can get a counter hit from close slash. But if you do, they block the whole thing, then you can actually be safe. Like this move is probably the best one to end off on. So you go, so that's probably the best way to end a string with her. Obviously, you get into the gimmick, you're holding it, and then you get plus. But then if you do this, you're -6 in their face, which means you have to either go low, or you have to go for the overhead. Overhead's -4. Obviously, this opens you up to being punished because there's massive gaps in it. Right now, day one, no one punishes this. You don't have to let the kick land. You can flip just straight over them. So, and it's the same with the low. You can just go for the low. You don't have to wait. But this is day one, so right now the best thing you can do with her is wait. Obviously, the gun is terrible, especially if they're crouching. This is something to bear in mind. So she has a really hard time keeping herself safe outside of this move. And it's -8, but I'm sure some characters will be able to punish depending on your distance. Like, you really have to get good at spacing the opponent out, something like that. And I'm pretty sure that's all gapless. So yeah, this is probably the best string you can kind of pull off early game, but it's something to bear in mind. You really have to get good at hit confirming because obviously, say if you do this and they block and then you commit to this string, then you're going to get punished unless you have meter to spend, and you can go through whatever combo that you kind of manifest at the time. So I do think that is a slight weakness of her, how minor she is on a lot of her stuff. Obviously, this does apply to everything as well. So this is minus. Oh, here I'm kicking. There is no gap between the 2K 2D as well, which is it's a good or a bad thing, depending how you look at it. So that's -8, similar to Unica's. This is -8. This is obviously -16 and stuff. So yeah, that's something to bear in mind. She does have that issue where she's a little bit high risk, high reward. Unless you're using these, then the game comes a little bit more, I'd say, a bit more in her favor and stuff. And we'll go over these. I'm actually going to go over a separate video about these things, just to go into them a little bit deeper. Right now, the one I seem to use the most is algorithm malfunction, energy siphon, and contagion, because they're the top 3. So if I'm in a match, I literally just go and then they come up as you kind of download them and stuff. So in the order you got them. So contagion and energy siphon come up first, and then if you're throwing out stuff, it's alright. And then by the time you're there, you can probably do a tap dust and then get a counter hit combo on the counter hit algorithm malfunction, which is something to bear in mind. So it's pretty decent. Okay, so we'll go over the special moves now. This move's pretty good. You can space it out and keep yourself safe. It's always -6 no matter where you are, which is something to bear in mind. So you kind of want to keep it full. But it's 16 frames, and it does go under some stuff. If you time it right, I went under Lucy's gun, for example. That was something that I managed to go under. And obviously, you can do this no matter what. You can whiff into the follow-ups, which is really, really cool. So you go obviously this is -12, so you might not want to. You kind of will find yourself whiffing into this one more than anything else because of its crop-up potential. But it's something to bear in mind, and obviously it's the safest follow-up if the opponent isn't going to be able to stop you. And the opponent, and this is 16 frames off, so this is quite quick. But if the opponent's ready for you, they can knock you out of this. The opponent can throw you out of this, which obviously is a massive gap, but the fact they can throw you out of this says that all there is to kind of know about the move. There is a massive risk for doing this. Obviously, you can bait this, by doing something like that, and then, I don't know, you can probably get a little follow-up like this, and if you don't suck at the game like I do, you can probably get something, I don't know, something fairly decent, like that, like a 2p into a DP. So yeah, that move does have its caveats. Obviously, you do have the gun. This gun is okay. It's more for combo filler. I haven't really figured out too many combos at the moment with her, but she does have the gun. You can shoot 3 times, and it's good in the neutral at this sort of range. Your opponent has to duck under it, obviously, so that's something to bear in mind. You can pester with it. It's minus full screen though, so you know, even like that. If you land all three, it's -4. So, but you don't really want to do that. The opponent can punish this on whiff. The whiff on this, even at full screen, is pretty taxing. I've had opponents like jump over me from not from full screen, from this sort of like range when I fired it. You know, -52. And obviously it's going to be higher if you whiff. So the gun really is just use it in neutral every now and then to like pest the opponent. Say they got a projectile, it's quite good to like kind of snipe them to stop them. Say if you got Kai, you continuously trying to set up stun dip or whatever it's called, stun edge, and then you can just pest them with that. So that's something to kind of bear in mind. It's not terrible. It's like a good anti-zoning poke, and it is kind of good. Seems to be good in wall combos because you get a wall bounce. If you are using it in a combo, and then you can probably do something like that as a follow-up. But I don't really seem to be using it. I'm using this one more, which I'll get into now. I think this is her best special move, personally, because of like its practicality and stuff. So the block string I've really been doing is this. I do this, do close slash into 6HS. The reason I do that is because this is a frame trap. You don't have to do this every time, by the way. You can just do this. Or do the block string I showed you at the beginning to push them out, depending on how you kind of want to do it. But you do this into a potential counter hit if the opponent does it. And then you do either little charge, like nothing, or you do partial charge, get a counter hit. You are +7 in this situation. It's probably better to go for a low in this situation, just because you go under. It's more like to catch an opponent trying to get out of the situation. Obviously, every now and then go for this follow-up. This is quicker, so that's one reason why I suggest that. So you do that, or you can go whole charge, and this is like kind of like the opponent. You can use this if you think the opponent's like gonna be too scared to press buttons, or you do this. I messed it up there a little bit. You got to do it quick, and luckily Lucy is so quick. You just run up and do a throw because they're afraid of the throw. And obviously, if you land this, which I'll go into the closed circuit now. The only way to land this, you can't put this on in this mode. You can only do this from a guard crush from the mono wire special move. So. And obviously it does go on block, which is quite nice. It lasts probably about 5 seconds, so it's not the biggest time in the world, but any kind of normal that uses the monowire will activate the red sparks. But one thing that's really good about it is you can kind of get a combo from a grab. This is probably one of the nicest things about it. So the opponent might expect that, so then you can kind of go for something else. And the hit stun's fairly generous. So it's pretty nice, as you can see. And obviously this makes a lot of her normals like a lot better off. It doesn't work like Stain works completely, which is a little bit frustrating. I think I would have made it a little bit better. Because at the moment it's just for like kind of good combos. Obviously you're still minus and it doesn't pop like Stain does. So something to bear in mind. But anything that uses monowire in it will give you the red sparks. So that's even this move, which is quite nice. It is your jump normals, which is pretty good. Obviously you can loop it again because it does it, so you can get that. Yeah, so the dust uses it, which is quite nice. The sweep. So you kind of have to figure out what normals will use it. So obviously the far slash uses it, they use it. The heavy slash uses it. This normal's interesting. This pushes them away all the time. Which is something to bear in mind. So if you want to create some space, that's something you can kind of do. So it's something to bear in mind. You gotta go over it and like learn all the moves that have the one wire. Basically anything that has the wire attached to it. Some like it's a little. You can see here, obviously on this move, she's using it to kick into him, which is how this works and stuff. So yeah, you kind of got to play with that a little bit, but it does make her able to do combos like this. You know, so obviously this gets you to the corner, but it doesn't put you through the corner. But saying it's okay, it's pretty decent. But you can use the spark like that way in a combo, like I've discovered. So yeah, it's good. I think she's going to take a bit more time to kind of figure out than say most characters. I don't think she is as easy as they've labeled her. I think she's you can pick her up and then do this and like this, you know, whatever. Like she has all that. But we're going to quickly go over the supers. This super, her standard super. I'm not even sure what this super is called. Live wire is okay. It's decent-ish. It's invincible on start with Saints It has okay range. Doesn't do a lot of damage. You can do the follow-up from it, but the follow-up is really weird. So the opponent has to be. They have to be in kill range, and you have to have 100 tension. There's no way to do this finisher without 100 tension. You don't activate it in any way. There's no way to activate this super on its own. So you can't like get extra damage. You have to passively, like with the move, like having say like Unica's weapons free or something like that. It doesn't work that way. So for example, if I take away my let's put my tension to 50. And I'll show you what I mean. It completely like killed him in that situation. As you can see, the super does not come out. Like it doesn't finish the way it did in the super. So yeah, I don't know if that's good or not. It's cool. It's cool that it's in the game. It doesn't really impact the play too much. Like the opponent has to be in kill range and you have to have 100 to get it, and you can't activate it on your own. If you can activate it on your own, I don't know how to, because I swear that in this starter guide it said you could. It's automatically triggered under certain conditions. And it says here, on hit she'll perform finisher, deep dive, following at 50 tension, opponent health below set threshold. So has to be within the range of killing them, which I think is about 20. If I remember rightly, or maybe I'm messing this up. It's even less than that, it's probably 15. Yeah, and then you get the follow-up. So yeah, it's kind of cool, but it's also like kind of useless because you can't. You should be able to just use 100 tension to go into the move if you can. If someone can and I'm wrong, just fine, point me out. But I'm pretty sure you can't. I pressed everything. I tried to anyway. So we'll get into like her main super now. This is the good super, the one that makes her. I think this is what will make her a better character. But so we'll go over them. I will do a deeper dive on this in the future. So we'll go over the Contagion first. Right, Contagion. Think like Aki's Poison from Street Fighter 6. That's kind of like the best way to do it. You have to hit them to make the moves come, to make the poison activate. It doesn't just happen over time. See, as you can see, you have to hit them, and then you got the purple spray, and it does a little bit extra damage to them. It's decent. It's the one I've been using the most alongside the other two, which I'll get into now. Then you've got Energy Siphon. This doesn't give you health back like I thought it did. Like I thought it was going to give you back equivalent to what the opponent was doing. So you do this. And blah 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 combo. Yeah, if you're looking at it, you only get a tiny little bit of health back. So something to kind of like go over. This one, the one I've been. This is probably the best one. It's why it's the most RAM. Takes the longest to kind of load up, but you know you get your combo, and then you can do your combo. So this one probably is the best one. The reason why this is so decent is because you got to look at it in like this situation. Sorry, when you're in the 50-50 moment. With this, make it load up, and then you can do your combo. So that's something to bear in mind. Obviously, I've been doing the cross up because the cross up is really good. You gotta wait and see if the hack has loaded in. Obviously, I'm not used to that yet. So that's kind of where I find it the most useful. And I kind of good times to kind of do These are probably in like block strings, if you like in block strings or after a knockdown. Like set it up where you're gonna be safe, you know, like this. And then we go, there we go. You know, obviously this is day one, so I'm just like mucking about with it. So that is that one to bear in mind. Then we got resistance glitch. Resistance glitch is the one that does the risk. So if you look at standard risk gain for Lucy, let's just do this. Something like that. Okay, right, cool. Gets to the R. Do resistance glitch. Gets to about the S, you know, and obviously there could be like a better block string you kind of do. Let's do this one. That gets to about the R again. That's about the same, isn't it? And then you go. And then it gets to just about between the S and the T. So you want to bump up that risk. Obviously risk has changed now completely as of the balance patch, but still she has a way to bump up the risk, which is quite nice. So you got pacify. When Kai runs towards you all the way from the screen to there, he gets to about the E with tension, but if you put pacify on, you can get to just before the T. So it's very minimal, but it, you know, these sort of things do make up. So think about like if you're getting hit in that situation, then you can kind of like take advantage of that. They'll be earning less. That could be like the super that kills you, essentially. So that's something to bear in mind. You put pacify just on in general. It lasts for probably about 5 seconds. It's not the longest lasting one. But it's okay. It's good to kind of like hit the opponent with something like that, the damage. And then with the last one, which is Optics Inhibition. This one lasts about 5 seconds as well. I don't know how good this one is right now. It's way too new. The character's way too new. And I haven't used this one enough to give you like a proper opinion on the move. You know, it could just be like one to kind of throw up there. But right now, these are the three I use. I use Contagion because I do more damage. I do that because I get healed. And I do that because I get an extra hit, you know. And then maybe over time we'll get a bit better and we'll like learn what makes, what is the best ones to kind of use. But right now, I suggest just use the top three because they're the easiest to kind of do. So if you do... So you can make yourself plus in block strings, as you can see. We're +3 in this situation, which isn't great, but it's not terrible. So maybe you want to do this one, and now you have a way to like bump up the risk while you're in the middle of a combo. So yeah, the potential for her is limitless at the moment because this is day one. But yeah, I think she has a lot of places to kind of go up and become better. Right now, I think that you kind of, yeah, she seems like high risk, high reward. That's kind of how I describe her at the moment. But yeah, that's Lucy. She's very fun. Go buy her, play her, support the game, obviously. And yeah, take care. And hopefully we'll have I'll go in depth with the hacking once I understand it a little bit more. But yeah, until then, this is my day one impression. All right, cheers.